Morning, everyone. It's Monday, November 24th, 23rd. I don't know. I didn't go to work today. I took today and tomorrow off from work. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the school's closed anyway. We were going to go to Kansas, but we're staying home. But hey, look what I got on. Years ago, back when Tessa and Marin were born in Ohio, I used to go often, like about every 3 months. I'd go and hang out for a week, and Shay and I would do all kinds of fun things, go to the library, go antiquing, go shopping. One of my favorite stores in Ohio was called Charming Charlie's. It was an all jewelry store, handbags, few fun things, hats, belts, that kind of accessories for women. I don't think they had men's well, nowadays you can't even tell. But anyway, this is a Charming Charlie necklace, and I just love the color, the blue against the black turtleneck. Isn't that pretty? So there are a few things we need to talk about today. I'm bending over. I noticed in those other videos, I was like, but maybe it's because the phone was kind of bent over. Should raise the legs. I'll work on that. I also thought I need to get one of those round lights. You know what I'm talking about? I've seen people using those. Makes you look younger, and I can use all the help I can get. So here's some things we need to discuss. First of all, I should have, when I was talking about syrup, told you about this. And this. I'll tell you about this too. When we were cleaning out my grandma's house, my dad saw this little tin pitcher. And in his normal way of speech, he said, "Good Lord." Now that wasn't a swear word to him. It was just vocabulary. This is what my mother used to put maple syrup in for our pancakes. So, isn't that cute? Little flip top. I don't know if she took this to the store and got it filled there or how that worked. Should have asked. Too late now. Cute. Someday it will be yours. And this was a hanky that belonged to my grandma. And I love this. Do you see the little pioneer woman with a horse-drawn wagon full of hay? I put this out every year. There's bad reflection on it. I don't know how to fix that. Anyway, I put it out for Thanksgiving. And I think when I see it, when she bought it, she probably bought it because it reminded her of her youth. So that's kind of cool. I'll put it back. I have Andy and Mike's picture here, but I put them behind this today, well, for Thanksgiving. And I have, while I'm thinking about it, I'll show you this. I've had this for a long time. Christ is the center of our home, a guest at every meal, a silent listener to every conversation. Be kind, everybody. Just be kind. Isn't that a great message right there? Okay. All right. Let's see. You won't believe what I found. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll show you. Hang on. About a month ago, Grandpa was going up to, he and Lauren went up to Costco, and he texted me, said, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, holidays are coming. I need flour and I need sugar." So my sugar canister was getting a little low and I was going to replenish it today. So this bag's been sitting in the pantry on the floor and just haven't got it put into a bucket. So I took the scissors in there with me to open it and to pour the sugar into a bucket. Can you see this? "25 pounds of brown sugar." Now, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I am going to bag it up and take some to everybody, and maybe the neighbors and maybe their dogs, because that's a lot of brown sugar. Oh my gosh. But here's what we're going to do. Hannah, on the way to school today, was talking to me, and she said, "Can we make candied apples?" Well, yes, because we've got enough brown sugar. We'll just have to go buy some apples, and we will have candied apples. There's part of the movie in Anne of Green Gables where Matthew goes to the store to buy, poor shy Matthew. He was so embarrassed, to get Anne a Christmas present, and he wants to get her a dress with puffy sleeves. Puffed, the puffiest. Because that was one of Anne's dreams, and good old Matthew, he just loved her so much and wanted to buy her one. So he went into the hardware store. Well, it was the Mercantile. It had everything. And there's a young lady at the counter, and she said, "How can I help you?" And he said, "Well," and he hem-hawed. And then he said, "A rake. I need a rake." And she's like, "I've got one." So she ran and grabbed a rake and brought it back. And then she said, "Now what else can I do for you?" And he said, "Well, seed. I need some hay seed." And she said, "Well, we don't, Mr. Cuthbert, we don't have seed in the fall, in the winter. We have it in the spring." And he said, "Oh, yeah." And she said, "Will that be all?" And he said, "Well," I mean, in his brain, he's thinking, "I gotta ask for a dress." But that's not what came out of his mouth. He said, "I need sugar. Do you have sugar?" And she said, "Yeah, white or brown?" And he said, "Well, brown." And she asked, "How much?" And he says, 10 pounds. And she said, 10 pounds? Well, okay. So she went and got a big bag of brown sugar and brought it up and dropped it on the counter. And he pays for it and he starts to leave. And then he gets his nerve up and he says, "I need a dress for Anne." And she says, "Land sakes, Mr. Cuthbert, why didn't you just tell me that at the beginning?" So then for Christmas, sweet Anne and that dear sweet Matthew Cuthbert gives her a big box with the prettiest blue puff sleeve dress you've ever seen. And Anne cries. It's a very tender moment. Kind of makes me cry thinking about it. But we're not going to talk any more about that. But I've got brown sugar if you need any. 25 pounds. Oh, Lord. Okay. I want that to fall over. That would be a mess. And poor Grandpa, he's probably not had the nerve to tell me. He was just waiting for me to figure it out. I cut open the top of the bag and I'm like, something's wrong with this sugar. And then I smelled it and I'm like, oh, darn. Bless his heart. I love him so much. So, anyway, that was a message from Erin. Update on Amelia. She's been in a lot of pain. She went back to the doctor today. Okay, she'll be fine. Because I'm going to make her bread. I didn't take her bread. What day did I make that bread? Saturday. Because she wasn't up to eating it yet. But I went over and saw her last night, and she said Tuesday. I took her some rice pudding. I found a new recipe for rice pudding. It's really good and really simple. And now we're almost to 10 minutes, and I haven't gotten into the recipe at all. So I'll tell you what we're going to make today. This is Andy's recipe. Another bread recipe. I'll show you what it looks like. It's called Ruby's ER Famous Banana Bread. And it's a picture of a handwritten, very ragged recipe for Ruby's ER Famous Banana Bread. And don't know who Ruby is, but Andy said it's really good, so we're gonna try it out. So I've already started. Better leave this over here where I can see it. There. I've already, oh, I need an apron. This was one of my grandma's aprons. She always had an apron on. It was her uniform. She'd wear it all day unless she was going to town, which she didn't drive, so she always had to walk or get a ride. That won't go all the way around me. I have to tie it in back. That's good exercise for that shoulder. Mercy. That's one motion. That's not easy. Okay, I'm not gonna bow it. It's just looped. Okay. She used to hang this on a nail on the stairs. She had several. Some of them are kind of worn out. I've had to patch them. Okay, there I went again. Here we go. So, the recipe is for 1 loaf of bread, but in my opinion, for what it's worth, if you're gonna go to the time and effort and mess to make banana bread, make 2 loaves, because everyone loves it. So, the recipe is 1/3 of a cup, and I'll put that down in the notes. I learned how to do that. See how smart I am? So I did 2/3 and melted it, okay? So there's 2/3 cup butter right there. And it calls for 2 to 3 super scary bananas. That's what it actually says, which we all know what that is. Now, I washed my hands. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm going to show you what I do. Rather than putting it all in a bowl and mushing it around, I'm going to play with my food. Watch this. I'm just going to smush these bananas in there with my hand. It's nice and smushy. See that? Just smush it. That one's got a little brown spot on it, but bakes up just fine. No one will ever know. Well, you know, because I told you. Okay, another banana. Now, it says 2 to 3 for 1 loaf, but you know what we're gonna do? I have another banana, but it's not as soft. So I'm gonna take this one, because I don't know that it'll smush up as good. I like to take all those little stringy things off. And I'm going to slice this one up because I don't think it'll smush very good. But we're going to put it in the mixer and that will smush it up. So that's 3 mushy bananas and 1 riper banana. But I'll tell you another little secret that I've learned. If you don't have enough bananas, you can do 1 or 2 bananas and then some applesauce. And if you asked me for an amount, I'd say no clue. 1/2 cup, whole cup. If it's 1 banana, I do a whole cup of applesauce. If it's 2 bananas, I do a 1/2 cup of applesauce. But anyway, so there we go. Now I'm going to put it on here. Maybe. Why is it not going on, folks? This didn't come with my mixer, but I love it because it scrapes the side of the bowl for you. Pretty cool little attachment for these big stand mixers. It is sold separately though, you know, they want more money from you. Oh. and it didn't start. So that mixer broke once, and I ordered parts for it, put new parts in it. I had to get Mike to come help me with one part of it, which he was so kind to do that. But then again, he likes my banana bread. So anyway, took it all apart, put new parts in it, cleaned it up, put it back together. Voila! Other people would have thrown it away, but I made it work. I'm proud of that. My daddy was a fixer. He could fix anything except a toaster. I asked him to fix my toaster one time, and he never could figure it out. So, did have to buy a new toaster. Okay. That's good and mushed up. Let's see what this recipe says. Okay, I've got the butter, got the bananas. It says a half a teaspoon of soda, but remember, we're doing 2. 2 times a half would be a whole. I'm going to do a whole teaspoon of soda. And let's see, how much salt do we need? A pinch. You know what a pinch is? It's about 1/8 of a teaspoon, but I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I wouldn't normally measure that, but because I'm trying to be professional, I'll measure that out. Okay, we've done those, so let's set those aside so we don't get all messed up with that. Now we're going to put in, calls for 1 egg. We're going to do 2, but I want to use up these eggs because I bought more eggs for Thanksgiving. So actually going to do 2 eggs and 1 yolk. So I'm going to put that in. Another egg. And this one, I'm going to just drain that white off here. Guard dog is on duty. Okay. Howie, Buster, quit it. Come here, you want a treat? Howie, you want a treat? He's like me. He loves a treat. I'm gonna give him a chocolate chip because he can't say you can have a treat and then not give him something. Go sit. Oh, look. Can you see him? Down. No, come over here. Okay, sit. Down. Good boy, stay there. No, stay. Stay. Oh, boy. It's like it's chocolate. I know. I kind of react the same way. Okay. Let's mix up these eggs. Okay. That's probably enough. Okay, I think the recipe, let me make sure. I think it's a cup of sugar. It is. We're going to do 2 cups because I'm doing 2 loaves of bread. I did have more white sugar in a 5-gallon bucket. Certain things you just don't ever want to run out of. Sugar's one of them. Okay. Mix up the sugar. And it calls for some vanilla. It says 2 teaspoons, and I never measured vanilla. Well, that lid wasn't on tight. You need to pound it. I think I told you I make my own vanilla vodka. Good for you. Not to drink, but a teaspoon's not going to hurt you. You know, Utah doesn't sell alcohol much. The state owns all the alcohol stores. Did you know that? It's a Mormon thing, which is good because we don't need to be drinking alcohol. We can have it in our food a little bit, but you buy the cheapest vodka you can, which was like $6 for a big thing. A lot of vodka, I guess. I don't know. I would never drink it, but anyway. And then I buy vanilla beans. Got these off Amazon. They're from Madagascar. Isn't that cool? Never been there. I'll never go. But I use their beans. And you slit them down the middle and put them in there with your vodka. I bought that vodka and didn't tell Grandpa. And I hid the vodka bottle in the garbage, under some garbage. And Grandpa kind of has a garbage thing. He's always adjusting. He found the bottle. He came in. He's like, what is that in the garbage? He was worried. I said, it's for vanilla. He said, oh, okay. Anyway, that was kind of funny. So, all right, enough of that. Okay. Yeah, you smell that vanilla. Okay. Now let's see how much flour we're gonna do. Where is it? 1.5 cups of flour times 2 is 1.5 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. 2, add the 1. 3. That's a sign of a healthy brain. You can do that in your head. Kind of elementary math. I'm kind of elementary. So, 1. I have to count out loud so I don't get off. 2, 1 more. And I accidentally dumped a bag of, just a small 5-pound bag of whole wheat flour in with the regular flour. No one will ever know. Well, now you know. Told y'all. Okay, done with that. So now we're gonna mix this up. Not a lot, don't take long. Looks pretty good to me. Okay. And this is still oily from the bread I made the other day. When I am just using this to make regular bread, I don't always wash it. That oil just stays in there and it's good. Doesn't hurt it. But I'll have to wash them now today. I'm covered in flour because I'm going to put banana bread in there, and I wouldn't want that on my regular bread. Scrape this off. See, there's some that's still not mixed up there, but that's okay, I'll stir it in. Yep, there's more there. Get all that mixed in. Missed my mouth. Good stuff. It's good. Good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna give this another little stir after scraping the beater. I'll show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna pour a little more than half in this pan. Oh, I should turn the oven on. I forgot. I'm gonna go do that. So I'm gonna be getting hot. I imagine it's at 350. It is. Some of these numbers, like 350, in my bottom oven I do 355, in my top oven I do 345, because the bottom oven's a little cooler. The top oven is smaller. Gets hotter, I think. Okay. Okay, there's that. And that's a little over half probably. Maybe I'll put a little more in there. Why not? Oh, there's a banana that didn't get stirred up or smushed very much. I'm gonna smush that a little better. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I have some mini chocolate chips. And some people would put nuts in their banana bread. A lot of people do. I like nuts more than I used to, but I don't still care for it much in my banana bread. I'm not gonna put a lot of chocolate in there. Well, for me, that's not a lot. See that? You're gonna mix in those chocolate chips. You know, that's probably too much for some and maybe not enough for others, but you know, I'll tell you, if that prevents someone from eating it, got bigger issues, right? Okay, I'll put this in the bowl. Smells good. Smell the banana. I've turned into a messy cook. I seem to make messes every time I bake anymore. It doesn't stop me. It just takes me longer to clean it up. All right, clean off the edge of that a little bit. Okay, there you go. I tap it down some so it goes out into the corners better. Okay, I think I got a little more in that than I should have, but it'll be fine. What else was I going to tell you? I think that's it for now. Grandpa and I'm going to bake this and let Lauren pull it out of the oven, and then Grandpa and I are going to go run an errand. I'll tell you about it when I get home. So I love you all. Happy eating. Set the table. We'll have this for supper, for dessert. Love you.